Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm just going to go through a little bit of the tools and equipment that I carry with me on a daily basis, as well as some of the test gear, etc. that I like to keep. And from having a lot of tools, I've now started recollecting. So I'm going to go through some of those things with you and go through some of my favorite items that I carry with me every day, so that you guys can get to see a little bit of what an IT engineer or network slash server slash firewall engineer carries with him on a daily basis. So let's take a look see. Right, here we have an assortment of the equipment that I carry with me on a daily basis. So the things that I use most of all: my Galaxy Note 9 cell phone. This is my main mobile phone that I use for work, etc. And it pretty much does everything that I need it to do, dual SIM, etc. Bluetooth headset, a Leatherman multi-tool, powerful torch, my Samsung Galaxy Watch. I enjoy using this as well. It keeps me up to date with what's going on around me without me having to take my phone out. I have a Samsung Galaxy tablet with a pen, which I use for drawing network diagrams, etc. And then I've got my Apple iPad mini. Now this is just the basics. I also have the phone that I'm currently using to record this, which is the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, which I like to use because of the camera on here. And yes, that is just a little bit of dust, it's not screen damage. So yeah, let's have a look at these items and some of the other tools that I do use. This is the laptop that I use out in the field as well. Work supplied. It's used for doing all the configs, etc., and I do use it at home as well. Now those devices that you've just looked at are the ones that I use most of the time in the day, but I also do keep a bunch of other sort of electronics test equipment and stuff like that, which sometimes comes in handy for the sort of work that I can do. So let's take a look at some of that test equipment. The first of the testers that I bought was this Magitech MT1885. Now I purchased this when I didn't have a lot of money, and this actually does a fantastic job, but it's kind of been downgraded to a electrical slash home quick test meter. It's not my primary, it's not the best build, but you know what, it does get the job done. It does have all the basic functionality that you actually need in a multimeter, and I will do individual reviews of these in the not too distant future. I think I may have already reviewed some of these meters from my Evian channel, but let's take a look at these ones that I'm using now that I'm sort of rebuilding. Now the next one that I managed to get my hands on was this Brymen. Now this Brymen is the Brymen TBM 878. It's a multimeter slash insulation resistance tester slash earth resistance tester. It does a couple of different things. VFDs, which is basically variable frequency drives, etc. It's basically more an electrical meter. Now the display on these things has always been something that I've enjoyed, the dual display on all the Brymen meters. It doesn't get a lot of work by me, but it's still, I picked it up at a good price, so it's a nice to have. Now my favorite all-time multimeter is the one that I recently acquired, and it's one that I've always enjoyed using. You'll probably know from the Evian channel how often I made use of the Fluke 117. I think it's the form factor and the functionality. It's pretty much the same functionality as a 177. If you look at the 179, the only thing it has extra is the degrees Celsius, etc., the temperature probe. Now this one here does pretty much everything that I need. You've got your volts AC, your hertz, your frequency of your AC voltage, volts DC, millivolts DC and AC, ohms, your continuity tester, diode, capacitance, amps frequency, amps DC. And volt alert isn't something I use very often, as I'm more at the electricians. Again, a nice display. It's got the analog bar graph. It's got a very nice backlight, which I have no complaints about. And what I do like about this meter is the one-handed operation. You can sort of just throw it on a mode and carry on. Some people complain about the button being a little bit far protruded, etc. But if you're not using it in an industrial application, that's not really a concern. I use it as a bench meter, and I've always enjoyed using it. Previously on the bench meter on the Evian channel, I refer to some of the videos now, and why this is one of my favorite digital multimeters. So yeah, that covers the multimeters that I use. Now I'm just going to take a look at some of the network hand tools that I carry with me, just so you guys get an idea of exactly what I use there. This is another little bag which I carry with me in my car. I don't use it all the time, but it's got a few nice to haves in it. I've got a 24 volt and a 48 volt PoE voltage injector. Those I got with my Unify A-piece second hand, but I keep them in here because my Unify A-piece are being powered off a different power source. Then in the main compartment over here I have a punch down tool, a Wera multi-bit set with a little spanner, screwdriver, everything for the bits, which I carry with me, a crimping tool, a network crimping tool, and a pair of electrician scissors, which is nice to have for cutting the network cable. And that's pretty much it. Last but not least, also part of my private tool collection that I do sometimes carry with me, is the Bosch Professional 12 volt lithium ion draw driver. Very handy piece of kit to have if you're in networking or IT or any of that sort of fields. It's also a great woodworking tool actually, and that I got with the spare battery, etc. I have another 18 volt model, but it's overkill for this field. And that pretty much covers the basics of the tools and equipment that I carry with me and the tools and equipment that I use in this field. And it's actually really nice. But I do have a lot of other equipment, electronics more, which stays at home, which I use for doing my electronic hobby or repairs, home repairs, that sort of stuff. And sometimes even for fixing some of this IT equipment. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So you've got an idea of the stuff that I carry with me on a daily basis. The only thing you didn't see in this video is the phone that I'm using to record this video, which is the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. And I'm using an external microphone to get a bit of a better audio. I'll do a review on the setup at another stage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yes, it's my first dipping my toes back in the water, so please excuse the quality and maybe even a few of the issues and maybe my nervousness to get back on camera, but it will improve once again. And yeah, thanks, catch you guys soon.